Hi, this is Tommy Ellison with Covington, and today on Courtside Conversations, we're in Round Rock, Texas, with Brian Stillman, the Division Manager of Sports Facilities and Operations and Sports Management and Tourism for the city of Round Rock. And for nearly 13 years, he's helped elevate the Round Rock Sports Center into one of the nation's premier indoor tournament destinations. With the recent expansion featuring a new Robbins BioChannel SB floor installed by Robbins in Covington, the facility is now equipped to host even larger events. Join Brian and me as we discuss the new expansion, the performance-driven design of the Robbins Sports Surface System, and his experience partnering with Covington on this major addition. Let's go. All right. By the way, good morning.
Good morning.
How long are you originally from Round Rock area, Brian?
I grew up in Iowa, and I did both undergrad and grad school at Iowa State. And then after I finished grad school, I got offered a job at the University of Texas. That's what brought us to the Texas area to start with.
Right.
But that was 2005. So been down here for a little over 20 years, and then with the city of Round Rock for the past 13.
Now, for those of you who may not know you, can you kind of briefly describe your role with the city of Round Rock and your responsibility for the Round Rock Sports Center?
You got it. So my name is Brian Stillman. My title is the Division Manager of Sports Facilities and Operations for the city of Round Rock, and that's within our city's Sports Management and Tourism Department. My role, what I really do is project construction, any of our new facility builds. I oversee all of our high-level facility construction projects, all of our large-scale improvement projects at the facilities, and then I have a team that manage day-to-day operations, facility management at all four of those venues, indoor, outdoor, the ballpark, and our golf course. So anything that has to do with facility construction, facility management, operations, and event management kind of falls under my wheelhouse here with the city of Round Rock.
Well, listen, before we talk about the new addition, let's start with the existing facility. And you've had a Robbins floor there for over 10 years. I mean, what are the things that you truly enjoyed about that floor?
Yeah, so the original Sports Center floor is the BioCushion Classic, and we obviously installed that in 2013. The Sports Center original facility opened in January 2014. So when we selected that floor, man, this is getting 15 years ago now almost when we made that floor selection. Like I said, my boss and I, Chad McKenzie, we were coming out of the University of Texas together. We knew Robbins flooring from UT. So we didn't put those floors in, obviously, but we were very familiar with them. So when we came up to Round Rock, it was obviously a pretty natural starting point for us. We kind of dove into the flooring game, working with our architect, Marmon Mok Architecture, based out of San Antonio. Covington and Robbins floors were highly recommended by them. So that's kind of what got us into the ball game. And then at that point, remember this is 2013. So BioCushion Classic at that point was kind of the latest and greatest as far as the most important thing to us at that point was the comfort and playability of the court surface for our athletes. So the Sports Center is a high-level athletic facility. It's not your high school gym, your middle school gym, mom and pop type of place. We're a national venue. We recruit nationally for our events, and athletes come to town. So we wanted to put the best surface possible for playability, for injury prevention, that little bit of extra bounce in your step, and all that. So that's what we got out of the BioCushion Classic. Obviously, we're very happy with it. Continue to be, and that's what you're seeing in the image there is the original facility BioCushion Classic. It actually just got, we refinished that floor, put an extra coat on it annually, but it just got its first full refresh here this past year. Now we're back. We just went back to original wood in this past year. relined it. And so exceedingly happy with that floor, how it's performed for us. And as you can see in that image, that is 48,000 square foot of wall-to-wall hardwood with no interruptions. There's no columns in there. There's no divider walls. So I know there are other facilities in the country that do what we do, but there are very few that have 48,000 uninterrupted square foot of hardwood. And that's what that BioCushion is for us in the original facility. As you'd imagine, we do a ton of volleyball, so that those just constant up and down jumps and those volleyball players and take it a little as easy on their knees and joints as we can.
Well, so if I ask the question, did the new Robbins floor address the things that you were wanting to improve? I guess your real driver was based on the ability to withstand that bleacher rolling and those heavy loads that were involved. Is that correct?
It was, but in addition to that, like, okay, you can roll a bleacher on a concrete floor, right? So what's our best option available that has the self-blocking, that can support the weight of those bleachers, but that the remainder of the floor performs and reacts exactly the same as our existing floor on that BioCushion. So it was really a combo of the two, right? We needed the self-blocking to be able to support the weight of those bleachers. But we wanted to make sure, there are floors, probably not Robbins floors out in the country, where they'll just reinforce that section immediately under where the bleachers are going to roll out.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the floor out in the open space doesn't have that blocking or that extra reinforcement underneath it. A floor like that's going to react completely different. If that basketball court you're seeing in your image, the bleachers I'm talking about would be at the very lower left-hand corner of that image and roll out onto that closest edge of court 7 basketball you see there. So if it was a floor like that, where you only put the reinforcement under where the bleachers are going to go, the entire far end of that basketball court would have one playability. And then as soon as you got to about the free throw line or down towards the basket on this close end, you'd hit a spot where it would just almost feel like a dead floor, or a completely different reaction of the ball bounce, of everything, ergonomics, of how the floor responds, all that. So absolutely, we were not going to do that. So we put the SB floor under this entire surface that you see in the image is all the BioChannel SB. So the entirety of that floor reacts exactly the same. It all has the self-blocking underneath it, obviously. We only truly need it for that area that has the bleachers, but we carried the SB through the entirety of that floor. So no matter what inch, foot area of that floor you're stepping on, you're getting the same response, same playability, same ball bounce on the entirety of that surface as you are right where the bleachers are. So that was actually the most important thing as we went through that kind of selection process for this floor.
You mentioned earlier, you said that Robbins was a easy choice, easy decision.
Yeah. So the interesting part about how this expansion came on is there on the right hand side of the image you just had on the screen. It's an 18-inch concrete tilt wall. That was the back wall of the original facility, and all we did was open some holes in it. So there you go, that image right there. So there under the big glass window and that rolling door you see, that's the connection to the original facility. So there is about 18 inches of clear space. Obviously, it's covered with some floor gap between the original and the expansion. So we built the entirety of the expansion, the floor, the lights, everything. It's designed to look like it was always there. These are not, 20 years newer, let's invent a new spaceship and attach it to something that's 20 years old. The original facility being 20 is an exaggeration, but being 13 years old, worked great for us, and we just wanted to build more of what we had and make it look like it's always been there, make it look purposeful. And so there's the original Robbins floor comes right up to the backside of that garage door you see, and you got the spacer gap, and then the new BioChannel runs right up to it. And so it looks purposeful, it looks correct, and like I said, we did scope the floors out 13 years ago, prior to putting the original Robbins floor in the existing facility. When we decided and got the go ahead to build the expansion, there was there was no selection process. It was a Robbins floor, and then it was just like I mentioned, the fact of figuring out which exact Robbins floor was going to be to find that self blocking. So, slam dunk, and one of the easiest decisions we had in planning for the expansion.
Since you've put in the new floor, and I guess this probably applies to the existing floor as well, what kind of feedback have you received from the athletes or the coaches or the officials, the trainers, regarding
Yep.
the performance and the comfort level of that floor?
Yeah, I mean it's one of the best in the country. I mean, there's you kind of mentioned earlier, this is the type of floor that's getting put in NBA training facilities and high level, high elite level athletes. That 98% of the folks that play on our floors are youth athletes, club teams and players like that. And if I'm being honest, they're used to practicing in middle school gyms that are 40 years old, or the converted lunchroom, dreaded lunchroom into a basketball floor. And so this is as nice of a floor as they're going to play on in the country. They'll go from us, and then they'll go to a tournament in the Dallas Convention Center or wherever they might be, and at that point they're playing on sport court, on top of a concrete roll floor. When they can get back and play on our surface, this quality hardwood with the biomechanics that are built into it, we legitimately do get comments all the time. And as much from, we might not always hear it directly from the athletes because they come to town for 3 days, they play the tournament, they go home, right? But the tournament directors, those organizers, we get them back year after year, right? So once we get a high profile tournament event that comes to Round Rock and comes to Sports Center, we typically rebook with them year over year. And we do absolutely hear it from them, that we come back to y'all. It's one of the nicest facilities in the country. Your floors are amazing. Our players love playing here and playing on that surface. So it makes our sales job a heck of a lot easier. Basically, as long as we take care of it, that they're going to keep coming. So works well for us.
From a pre-planning through installation, I noticed right away when I first saw the images of the new floor versus the old, that it appears that the facility was doing a rebranding in a lot of ways. Yes. With the Go Round Rock logo there being brand new. Is that true?
Well, it's brand new to the floor. We came up with that logo internally to our department a few years back, but obviously we did not have it in 2013 when we put the original floor in. So yeah, the graphics package was updated obviously for this expansion floor, and that's the image that you see there. But as I mentioned, we also went back and took the original floor on the other side of the wall back down to wood. And so that let us match the graphics on all 8 now of the basketball courts, have the same branding, same graphics package. And yeah, it was very purposeful, and to match our branding that we have around the rest of the facility. Yes, sir.
What was your experience working with Covington? And I think Mario Aguilar was the gentleman who had worked with you closely there from our office in Texas. How would you describe that experience working with Mario and us at Covington?
It was really good. This graphic that you have up there is a prime example. There's not a billion lines on this new court, but there's a lot, and we were purposeful with them. So you can kind of see up there above the go, the red go on the upper left-hand corner, where we've got lots of lines intersecting. So you've got the basketball coming across the volleyball. You've got a championship volleyball, which is where that mid-court image lays. And we've got the NCAA NBA court going cross court. So there are some spots in that floor where one line is immediately adjacent to the next color. So there was a lot of pre-planning and working through with Mario and his team of exactly how this layout was going to work, to make sure the striping pattern worked, to make sure the graphics package fit within. And it came out perfect. It was a lot of work. I think the behind the scenes stuff, when you see a floor like this and it looks really nice, That took a lot of planning and me working with Mario and his team to figure out to get that thing to lay in there perfectly.
I do appreciate, Brian, your being with us this morning and answering our questions and giving us insight as to how we can better serve our customers, and appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and learn more about your facility. If your school, university, or recreation facility is planning a new gym or renovation of an existing gym, contact Covington to learn how we can help you design and install the right performance surface for your athletes and your budget. Robbins Sports Surfaces, Covington Flooring. Since 1982, Covington Flooring, the choice of champions.